Welcome back to Road Dog Crypto. Today we are looking at Maker, a special request from Lucy. Lucy, thank you for requesting this. I'm going to start out with the 4 hour and then I'm going to move to the daily to show you what I'm seeing. But the 4 hour is kind of important because a few things I want to point out, showing that we're getting ready to make a healthy retracement. Road Dog Crypto. All right, so Maker has broken out of this big, huge resistance right here, which is a falling wedge pattern. That's a great thing. Made its way up, made some impressive gains, but we started seeing some resistance right around this area. Now, this area that I have highlighted here is a high resistance area, a good area to think about taking some profits, as we will most likely get rejected in this area for a little while. The cool thing that I see going on is that we do have this golden cross right here. That's always a good thing to see on the 4 hour. That's an actual buy signal. So things are going good for Maker. It's just reached a point where it faced rejection right up here at 1171. When you're looking at your moving averages, what you can expect is for it to at least come back down and retest this 200-day moving average. So right around here about 844. Hopefully it will hold that and we'll still get some more up movement. We just want to be mindful about market structure. So it's always a good idea to draw that trend line. We will come back down to this area right around 889, 890, retest this. And the question will be, will this hold as support? Now, if it does not hold this trend line, then we got some further down action. If it does hold it, we got some further up action. That's what to look for. This big wick, when you see these big wicks going on right here, that's intense sell pressure. And that's usually a sign that we're going to take a move downward. So chances are that we could actually break below this. And as I just said, we may be testing this 200-day moving average. So we may come down there, bounce, and then we got a chance for some further upside or getting rejected off of this trend line. Could see downward action there, or it could break through and move up. That's what we have to watch out for. But overall, Maker's showing a lot of strength here. In a situation like this, the best way, in my opinion, to determine a good point where you may actually add to your position, or if you're brave and want to short, it may be a place to short and then further take profits. We usually retrace by Dow theory back to the 50% line, which is right here on our Fibonacci. So we're looking about 877 for that. Let me go ahead and mark that. And we're also looking at the 618 Fibonacci as a possible bounce area. So that would be about $808 by this chart, which is on Binance. Go ahead and mark that. And there's also the possibility, if we do below that 618, that we could still bounce from the 786. So let me go ahead and mark that one too. Okay, so here are the areas I got laid out. 786 at 701, 618 at 805, and the 0.5 retracement area at 877. So again, we got to watch. See if we break structure here. If we do break, then we're looking at bouncing either off of these areas down through here, or if Maker still continues to keep its strength up, we could get a bounce here at the 0.5 or that trend line and get some more moves up. But these big wicks are kind of telling me that we're more than likely going to see retracement down to the lower areas. Now, another metric that's showing some confluence to this, if we take a Fibonacci range from the top of this last impulse move to the downside to the bottom there, we see that we came up to just right above the 786 Fibonacci level from that move. And we also fell below the 618. Now this is a shorting area. This is usually where price will go up to before it comes back down, and then it will come back down to the 618 of that area and make a bounce up. How it usually plays out by this theory. So that gives us some confluence that we may actually get a bounce here at the $805 area, just to throw that out there. Now our RSI, if we pull that up, we see that we have broken some structure right here and we've fallen below. Not a big deal, but let's go back and let's check for some divergence action to see if that kind of gives us a clue. So we can see here in the 4 hour that we've got price going up, and we can see that we got our divergence right here. That's bearish divergence. And if you look at our little cheat sheet over here, if I can point it out, this area right here, that's what we're looking at, that's playing out there. So that's where we got our downside action, and also to fine tune that a little bit from this point to this point, also going down and down. So it's lightening up there. That's a good thing. Now let's do a little check on our bullish divergence here. We have got our price action going up. This trend line, this particular trend line here, it wicked below structure, but it's still holding that. Overall, since the price is starting to come up and the divergence is starting to come down, we are having a chance to form some hidden bullish divergence. And that would be this little guy over here, which means that we could very well get a bounce in these areas and see some more upside. So as far as further down movement, these are the targets I've got. Now let's take a look. I'm going to zoom out to the daily. One very important thing that I want to mention about this falling wedge pattern is that it has a 62% chance to come back to the breakout area for a retest. That's another thing to look out for, that we'd come back to this breakout area, which is back here at this 786 level of right around $711. However, it could also come back to this trend line. It's a possibility to see lower prices, but usually we look at the breakout level first. If that doesn't hold, then we're looking at coming down to test this trend line, and then we'll have to take a deeper look because that could come down as far as $450 should that scenario play out. Now we want to look at some higher targets. Say we get a bounce here. Where could this possibly go? Now, we know we can face some rejection right here, but are there some higher targets? And we're going to talk about that on the daily. Now, generally, when I look at a chart, I usually start at the bigger time frames like the weekly, move down to the daily, and then move on down. But with YouTube and people looking for information, we kind of want it quick. So I'm starting out with a smaller time frame, this being the 4 hour. And now I'm jumping to the daily, and now you'll see a bigger picture of what's going on. There is rejection here on Market Cipher, got the red dot. We're going down. We've got divergence right here. This line is going down, and on our RSI right here, that is going up, okay? It's clearly made some bearish divergence. So downside is coming, and it's healthy. We need healthy retest on these moves to solidify. Very, very good chance that we will come back down to this 0.5 level, this blue line here. Very good chance of that. May possibly come down further. Now, it is still showing some strength in the move. We're starting to get some curving on our MACD, so it could go sideways and it could potentially go down. We've also got some hidden divergence coming down here on the EMAs there, and even on the histogram, a slight bit of divergence right there. But we came to this chart not just to see what the indicators are saying, we also came here to actually get a measured move. So let's do that. All right, I got the measured move there. Let me apply the Bukowski magic to it real quick. As this move only has a 62% chance to make it up there, that means that we just lower this right down to the 62% area, throw that at our breakout. Let's get rid of this Fibonacci. If you don't know what I did there, I'm going to have a dedicated video on it, but I have several videos in the chart school where I go over how I just did that very precise Bukowski measured move adjustment. That brings us in at 35.83. Let's go ahead and mark that. And let's go ahead and just get our standard measured move and put that out here too, which has a higher target bringing us up to about $5,400. Now, these are very far off in future price targets for this whole falling wedge pattern. No telling when that might happen. But as long as we can keep above this 200-day moving average, and this is back on the 4 hour, that's a good sign. When you see that cross on the 4 hour and we're breaking out of a pattern, very good sign that, hey, you're in a good coin at a good time. Right. Switching back to the daily, not to confuse you too much. But now let's look for a more immediate price target based on the move that it just did. And for that, we'll just break out our Fibonacci. And you are looking at 1,336. But the target that it really should be eyeballing is right here at this 618, which would be $1,542. All right, so if I got those marked out, let me just pull this up and you guys can take a screenshot if you like, pause the video, whatever. This is your trade setup. These are the buy zones right through here. This area right here, from the 786 Fibonacci up to the 0.5 Fibonacci, that is your buy zone. So if MakerDAO comes back in here and you're trying to accumulate for a long-term hold, these are the zones you want to look at buying. These are the ones that I'm actually going to be looking at because I want to get in on Maker myself and I'm not in it currently. So I'm looking at getting in at a little bit of 709 and a little bit at 805 personally. That's where I'm going to be putting my orders in. Targets that you could take profit would be anywhere in this range would be a good idea. You can expect to see some rejection here, but I've got a target at $1,334. And if we break out of that area, main target that I've got for this whole move based on Fibonacci would be 1,540. And then we could take profit. And if it lowers back down and you still want to be in this project, fill your bags back up again and ride it to the upside again. That's the whole game for longing this for long-term holds. Anyone out there trading can take this information and base your longs and shorts accordingly. But these targets should play out well, whatever you're trying to do. Because that's what I got on Maker. I hope this is helpful information for you. Do expect a pullback. Tides are starting to turn and it's healthy to happen. The biggest thing to remember in these bear markets is do not chase these green candles. And when they go on a run and you start seeing these wicks form, watch out for it. That's a lot of sell pressure coming in, meaning a retracement. Until next time, my name is Lane, your crypto road dog. Thanking you for watching this video and reminding you, hey, you got this. I don't always like videos, but when I do, I always prefer Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friend.